microphones. Feel free to leave your cameras on. I would love to see your lovely faces. And then during the presentation, we're going to try to be very brief and go over everything as quickly as possible because we know time is precious. But if you've got any questions, please do jot it down in the chat. Marie, our marketing exec, will collect this and then fire away at the end of the presentation. So today's agenda is, well, I'll start off with giving you a quick overview of the event. Then I'll pass you on to JC, who will talk you through the buyer profile, the marketing and the platform, which is Expo platform. So we're moving on to a new platform. It's not what you know. We're moving from Swap Card to Expo platform. And then I'll take over and discuss the commercial opportunities. I'll start with the exhibitor profile, just to give you an understanding of the types of companies that actually exhibit with us. Then I'll talk you through the floor plan. And then we'll go over the stand options. There's a solution for every budget, whether you have a big or a small budget. And finally, I'll talk you through the sponsorship opportunities. I'll focus mainly around the thought leadership, so speaker opportunities around that. This is a tech show, and it seems that most of our exhibitors and sponsors seem to be more keen on the speaker opportunities than anything else, which is understandable. It is a tech event. So, and then lastly, I know there's a couple of startups who are joining us today. So I'll quickly go over the opportunity around that and how we support startups. And then finally, we'll answer any questions you have at the end. So I'm going to pass, before I pass you on, this is the team today. So I'm the commercial and event manager. I've been on the event for about 6 years, on and off, because I've had 2 maternity leaves. But before that, it's always been exhibitions. And we also have Jonathan Carter, who is our marketing director and has been with us way before my time. And Ree, she's fairly new. She's been with us for just about a year. She's amazing at what she does. So once you come on board with us, Ree will work closely with you, ensuring you don't miss out on any of the free marketing opportunities and tools around the event. So TravelTech Show has been around for over 21 years, so we are quite established in the industry. 2 years ago, we decided to go buyer only because when we were at Kensington Olympia before moving to London Excel, over the course of 2 days, we did get quite a high footfall and there was opportunities being missed. So across the 3 events, which we're co-located with, the business travel show and the meeting show were a buyer-only event. JC will go into more detail about what that means later on in the slides. We have over 77 supplier exhibitors. Now 10 of those are TravelTech, 10 of those are startups. We're part of the Focusrite family. I've already mentioned that we're a buyer only, and we also will be using Expo platform this year for the first time, and we'll go over the one-to-one meetings that are available. Now, we work really hard to make sure that we put on a thought-provoking conference program, and maybe some of you know, Mark, our conference producer, has been with us for over 10 years now and does an incredible job with that. So that's one of the things that makes us stand out in terms of the other events out there. I've already mentioned we are co-located with the Business Travel Show and the Meeting Show. I'll talk you through the floor plan and where TravelTech Show sits within those shows later on when I discuss the commercial opportunities. Okay, so around 5 years ago, North Star Travel Group, who are based in the States, acquired the Business Travel Show, the Meeting Show, and the TravelTech Show because they believe that these events fit well within their portfolio of events. What this means is we've got quite a big reach in terms of the data that we can access. And just an interesting fact, In terms of the countries visiting, buyers that are visiting, yes, UK, we get the most visitors from. So about 70% of our visitors are from the UK, but the second most country visited, it's not France, Spain, or any of the surrounding European countries, it's actually the States. Those companies there, they actually take the time to fly over to TravelTech Show, which is incredible. So I'll pass you on to JC.
Thank you very much, Nimet, and hi everybody. If you want to go to the next slide, thank you. Before I talk to you a little about the campaign this year and the audience, I thought would be a nice starting point to recap the 2023 event for those of you who didn't know. So this year just gone, we had 67 main exhibitors, so that doesn't include partners or our startups. We had 700 buyers attending, which was a 57% increase from last year, and just over 1,000 overall attendees. As Nuit mentioned, our audience is fully vetted, so that means that any registration that comes in, we have a team that will review the information that they give us, and make a determination whether they are a legitimate buyer and can therefore attend for free, or a consultant who can also attend for free, or if they are in fact a supplier who then need to pay the supplier charge to attend. We do this and have done this for a number of years now, and this is for you guys, for our exhibitors, because you are obviously investing large sums of money in our event, and we want to make sure that you are getting the most value out of that, and we're not having suppliers come in for free and not investing in the show itself. We have a 10-to-1 buyer to exhibitor ratio, so that means for every exhibiting company we have at the event, we have 10 buyers in the room. For the events that are co-located the North Star events that are co-located at Excel, that's actually a really good ratio. It's probably one of the best of the events that we run. We have a really positive buyer net promoter score of 6, which went up from 12 last year, so that is a brilliant growth, and that's a really good basis for us to build on for 2024. Those of you who were at the show last year would have seen the tech tours going around at the event, and those ran for the second year and were extremely popular. We had an increase of 92% on pre-reg for those, and our Trailblazer voting for our startup competition. 2022 we didn't do voting, but we did in 2021, and we had 524 votes this year versus 30 in 2021. So really good engagement there from our buyer audience with our features that we have at the show. Next slide, please, Nimit. Thank you. So as an exhibitor, who are those buyers that are walking around the show floor? Who are you going to see? Here's just a sample of some of the companies that attend the shows. We have tour operators, travel agents, OTAs, hotels, airlines, DMCs and TMCs. One of the additional benefits of us co-locating with the Business Travel Show Europe and with the Meeting Show is their exhibitors, the hotels, the airlines, the DMCs are already there at the show. So they're just walking across the aisle, as it were, up the show to come and visit us. So it's really great for us to have that additional exposure to those other brands, and for you guys, for exhibitors who target those sorts of companies, to be able to meet them. Next slide, please. I won't go into all these stats because obviously there's quite a lot of them, and these slides will be available afterwards, as will the recording, so you can have a look. But this is just to give you a flavour of the audience that we have. So they are decision-making, budget-holding buyers from a whole cross-section of the travel and tourism spectrum, and from the kind of senior leadership across multiple job functions. Thank you. A little bit more on last year. So this is just some of the feedback that we received. So 51% of the buyers who attended last year attended for the first time, which is fantastic, which goes hand in hand with that growth we mentioned earlier. Of those buyers who did attend the previous year, they remarked that it was even better than the year before by a kind of 17% more. So that's fantastic growth that we want to see and continue to build on for 2024. Unsurprisingly, the main reasons why buyers attend are to meet with exhibitors, to find that new suppliers, to find what's new in the industry, and how they do that with you guys, as Nimit said, it's through the conference program, it's through the meetings, it's through walking the show floor. So the exhibitors are kind of the key part of the event for our buyers. Also really nice to see that over 60% rate the time they invest in the show as valuable, and 63% think that being at the show is important for their business. So that is fantastic position for us as an event and a brand to be in. As I mentioned, these are buyers who have budgets to come to buy. 70% of the buyers who attended last year bought something or took some action from attending, and 7% already had by the time the survey had gone out. That is fantastic for us as a brand, but also for the suppliers that are there in the room. And looking at the buying power of that audience, they're extrapolated out is over 118 million pounds of revenue that being at the show has generated for the industry. One last fact there is that, sorry to go back one, thank you, is that actually 38% of the buyers who attended didn't attend any other show in the last 12 months. They weren't at ITB, they weren't at Focusrite or any other events. 38% of those buyers you could only have met if you were at TravelTech Show. So to leave you that with like an audience that have got the cash to spend and are willing to spend it with the exhibitors that are at the show. Looking ahead to this year, we run a 12-week benefit-led promotional campaign as part of North Star. As Nimit mentioned, we have access to over 1 million contacts within our database and the different brands to be able to push our event message out to. And we have set up partnerships with the leading associations, magazines, press, websites in the industry. And the marketing that we do, we use a full marketing mix, so we use every trick in the book there is to try and get our message in front of our audience and persuade them to attend, whether that's direct emails, social media, paid for social, acquisition, retention, advocates working with influencers online, and as I mentioned, media partners. Next slide, please. And you'll see here's just an example of some of the partners that we work with over the years. So a great mix of associations, news, and print magazines. Next slide, please, Nimit. Thank you. And then for 2024, what are we looking to achieve? So we're looking to grow our main exhibitor audience to 80. That would mean, based on our buyer to exhibitor ratio, we would be looking to bring in 800 buyers attending the show. Nimit mentioned that international numbers, that's currently sitting at 24%. We want to see that increase and grow up to 30% of international buyers attending, and continue to improve our net promoter score, so getting that up to 14, so rising through the good, working our way towards excellent. Next slide, thank you. So I'm just going to take a second to talk about Expo platform. So as Nimit mentioned at the start, we are changing our event platform this year. For those of you who exhibited last year, you'll remember Swapcard, and the feedback that we had, not just on TravelTech Show, but on the other events as well, that it wasn't the best experience. It was a bit confusing. You had multiple places you needed to log in. You had your e-zone in one place, you had your diary and Swapcard in another, you had lead scanning somewhere else. We're bringing all of that together as much as possible this year into Expo platform. So you'll have a single portal where you can log in to access your manual, order your badges, all the items for your stand, also to arrange your meetings, the interactive floor plan, and that's all bundled up into the on-site event app. It also allows us to have, if you go back please, also allows us to have better connectivity with the other events as well. So there's improved access to the exhibitors and the content that's going on the other events during that time. So it's less siloed than what it was before. And as I said, overall improved user experience. And what is very beneficial for us is that Expo platform is used by some of those big players in the market, in the exhibition industry. So there's good, I've lost the words. It's a good set of people to be company with, and we've got to have a good support from them, and it will really deliver on what we need. Thank you, Nimit.
Great, thank you so much for that, JC. I just wanted to add that, yes, our buyer, not about the platform, but in terms of the audience, yes, the way we vet is we expect them to be an OTA, tour operator, travel agency, hotelier. So if they're a buyer, yes, they get free access to the show. But we understand that this is a tech event and there are going to be some supplier partners that don't fall in that category that you do want to invite to the show. For each exhibitor that signs on, we provide you a link which has up to 20 companies that you can kind of register, contacts for companies, JC, that you can that can register for free that aren't necessarily a buyer. So we do work around that. And once that link does expire, we just review to see who's been joining. And then there's always an opportunity to extend that link if you've got more companies that want to join. So I'll run you through the commercial opportunities by starting off by discussing the exhibitor profile. This is just to give you an understanding of the types of companies that exhibit at TravelTech Show. So we do get a lot of back office, mid office systems. Payment providers seems to be on the rise, marketing automation and digital marketing also. Just to give you an understanding, so we might get the likes of Flight Centre, or TUI or Jet2 that will come along with their CTO, but also their CMO. So the CTO will go and source payment providers or back office systems, and the CMO will source product companies that work in marketing automation or email marketing. This is just a quick snapshot of our exhibitors from previous year. We are proud to say that most of these companies have been with us way before me and JC's time. So we're talking about 15 years history, the likes of Open Destination, Travelport, Sabre, Amadeus, Procon, Pax to Pay, Paxport, all of these guys have been, and Cogen, Cornerstone, of course, has been with us for a very long time. We really appreciate your support over the years. I saw that Mitch joined from Cornerstone as well today, so thank you for joining, Mitch. So this is the floor plan. We are at the London Excel on the 19th and 20th of June. We have the South Hall reserved for the event. On the left, the blue section is the meeting show that's been around for over 15 years. You get the likes of the destination management companies, so it could be Visit Hong Kong, Visit Korea, and so on. And also there are a lot of hotel companies that are booked under the meeting show. In the centre, we've got the business travel show that's been around for 30 years, so it's the red area. You get a lot of the travel management companies that would exhibit there, but also cross over and buy technology from the TravelTech Show. The TravelTech Show is on your right-hand side. You'll see a little strip of an orange section. So these are companies like Sabre, Midoko, Travelogix, who not only target the corporate industry, but also the leisure industry. So it makes the rates are slightly higher for the area. So if there's anyone interested, please let's have a conversation afterwards. And then the blue section, like I said, it's TravelTech Show. We've got two theatres, the touring theatre, which is the main stage at the back. Now, we didn't have a main stage before, but because the conference program, the conference sessions have been so popular, we've increased the capacity. For those wondering what the capacity now is, so we've moved from 60 to 100 in the touring theatre. And then here on the right, we've got the Lovelace Theatre, so the capacity for that is 60. And for those that are a bit stage shy but want to have the opportunity to do some kind of presentation, then right at the front of the hall, we've got the Tech Huddle Zone, which I will talk you briefly through in a second. So we've got a solution for every budget. So at the moment, it's early bird rates. So the rates on the website are for it's for those wanting to book after March. So it's space only for 820 per square meter. Shell scheme is 878. And for those that have slightly smaller budget, or not necessarily the budget, but don't want the hassle of building and organizing a stand, then I recommend the Tech Pavilion stand. So it would be 4,750 plus the registration fee of 358. So the total cost for that is £5,108. I'm going to give you a second to just take a snapshot to give you an understanding of the pricing structure for TravelTech Show. So like I said, a space only shell scheme stand for a 9 square meter would be 878 times 9 plus the admin fee of 358, which equates to £8,260. Okay, so this is your space only stand. So I'm going to talk you through, let's just go with Airwallex. So that's a 14 square meter stand. I would definitely factor in maybe £7,000-8,000 on top to build that space. So if let's just say you're going for a smallest 9 square meter stand, you want to go for space only, you want to design something unique. That costs just under £8,000 just for the space. Just go back, how much was 9? So it's £7,338 just for the space. And then you'll need to factor in an additional 5,000 roughly to build on that space. Shell scheme, 8,260. What additional cost you need to factor in? So the stand top middle is a 9 square meter stand, just to give you an understanding of what that looks like. So the shell scheme is £8,260. What that includes is just white panels, grey carpet, and your name board. You would need to factor in an additional £2,000 for lights, electricity. I always recommend that you add graphics because it will just make your stand look better. So lights, electricity, furniture, and graphics. The way it works is once you book the shell scheme with us, nearer to the event, we'll send you login details for the Expo platform. You'll be able to see all the different options for graphics, lights, furniture, and everything else. For those that don't want the hassle, but still want to access our buyer database and just want to turn up for the event, then these Tech Pavilion stands are brilliant. The way it works is you pay the 5,108. It includes your table, it includes your chairs. We've also added lights this year to these stands just to brighten up that area a little bit. And then nearer to the event, we will contact you just to submit your graphics. And then that's pretty much straightforward. All you do is turn up for the event. If you decide to just come as a visitor, now the cost is between £700 to £900, depending on when you book with us. But I just want to remind you that when you do come as a visitor, you will not be able to see our buyer database. So despite paying that fee, you'll only be able to see the exhibitors on the platform and only be able to book meetings with the exhibitors at the show. So with these packages, any of these packages, whether you go for the space only, shell scheme, or the Tech Pavilion, you can register as many staff members as you like through the Expo platform. There is no limit. I think we sent the sponsorship brochure across to everyone already, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. But the headline conference sponsor, I've just spoken to TikTok and Salesforce. Maybe there'll be an opportunity with Cycor, but if anyone else is interested, we can definitely have a discussion and go into detail with regards to headline conference sponsorship. This will cover branding and all the theatres. You'll get a speaking session across all the theatres, as well as the data from all the sessions. So it's a great opportunity for 32,500. Gold conference sponsor, this is our most popular, and the way it works is if you want to speak in the main stage, you will have to go for at least a gold sponsorship opportunity. You'll get, for example, a speaker session in the morning of day one, and then on the main stage. And then in the afternoon, we will join that up with a tech huddle. So when you do the presentation, you can turn around and say, hey guys, thank you so much for joining. In 40 minutes, we'll host a tech huddle to discuss this opportunity further. You also get a tech tour, which I'll explain in a minute, but it's that's just a sales pitch. So we bring a group of buyers to your stand for that opportunity. On top of that, you get free editorial conference session data, plus a high stretch banner for some brand exposure at the event. If you don't have the budget for gold, but you still want to speak, we can definitely book you in for a tech pavilion stand plus a speaker session in the Lovelace Theatre. So I think we've got some opportunities still on day one around 2 p.m. So that's something you want to reserve, to get in touch. So the total cost will be just over 10,000. You'll have a stand and a speaker session. And again, you get the data from all those that attend that session. So that all depends on what the buyer registers with, their email, their telephone numbers, and so on. This is what a tech huddle looks like. It's just a roundtable discussion. So if you don't want to be on stage, this is your first time, having an experience on stage, then we can book you in for a tech pavilion plus the tech huddle for £2,250. There is no screens to present, by the way, it's just a roundtable discussion. And lastly, these are our tech tools. So all of these packages, the tech tool and the tech huddle, are actually included in a gold package, which gives you a speaker session. So if you do decide to add these on, I rather you go for the gold package. This is a 5-minute elevator style pitch. What we do is we promote this again as wider the just the way we promote the conference program. We bundle up about 6 companies that do, for example, payment providers, and then we meet them at the info point and then take them to a tour to these 6 companies where you'll get the opportunity to do a 5-minute sales pitch. I'm not going to go too much into these, but there's obviously opportunities for branding, whether you want to do the registration area, the info point. Seating area tends to be quite popular, especially the cafe area. So the cafe's just in the center. Oh, it's going to open up the floor plan, but never mind. Signage and screens. Another thing that's quite popular is the visitor badges and the lanyards. So the lanyards are still available. If that's something that you want to go for, that'd be £7,500. So all our buyers that come to the show will be wearing that lanyard with your logo, plus all our exhibitors at the show will also be wearing that logo, that lanyard, unless they come with their own lanyards. We don't have control over that. But we also have digital sponsorship packages. Now, what's popular is when we send out, for example, an email before the show to say our registration opens, and we might include a 50-word description in terms of what you do and hyperlink that to your website or anything else that you want. On top of that, we can always send an email following the event as well to say thank you so much for joining. We hope that you had a good time and visited our stand. So an email before and after the show tends to be quite successful. So those are the digital sponsorship opportunities that I recommend that you consider. Going back to I know there's some startups that have joined us today. So what I'd like to do is just give you a quick overview of what that means. What we've done last year is we worked really hard to make sure that we get judges that are working with startups, that understand their language, that can mentor them, that can support them, that have a community and an outreach. So we'll be using the same judges from last year that have done a phenomenal job. So we only have space for 10 companies. There's a Trailblazer application form online through our website that you can apply. We will select the 10 companies that we think have relevance to the show and we know that are going to do well, because once they do well, they invest with us the following years, of course, take bigger stands. So it's an investment for us as well. And the way it works is if you get approved, the only cost that the startup is paying is £750, and that goes towards the stand build. Everything else, we cover the cost. From those 10 companies, we asked them to send us 2-minute innovation sales videos, and those sales videos go into a People's Choice Award. Now, from those 10, we narrow it down from the votes to 5 companies, and those 5 companies then go on to have stage presence. Well, they'll do a 5-minute sales pitch in front of our judges. The winner gets a free stand the following year worth over £10,000 at TravelTech Show, plus coverage through Focusrite, Focuswire, plus a ticket to the Focusrite conference, which is also worth more than 1,500. So that's a lot of opportunities for our startups. Now I'd like to ask if there's anyone with questions. Ree? No questions? Oh, we've got one from Gordana.
Hi, Nimet. Sorry I was delayed and yeah, I missed probably this, but do you have a floor plan as well already available?
Yes, so when we can definitely resend that across. That won't be an issue.
And that would be great. Thank you very much.
Nimit, we have one question. Hannah's just asking, where on the floor plan can we find the tech pavilions?
Oh, yes. So that will be M61 in front of the Lovelace Theatre.
Could we go back to see it, Nimit?
Of course. I think it'll be better if I just sign into the floor plan so I can zoom in. So this is the visitor entrance. As you come through, this is the TravelTech Show Cafe, which is quite a busy area. And then when you walk down, M61, just in front of the Lovelace Theatre, is an option. And then we've got one M81 in front of the Touring Theatre main stage. For those interested, I can send you what I'd like to do is just kind of show you the options available within those tech pavilions, if that's something that some of you that are joining are interested in. So this is M61 in front of the Lovelace Theatre. As you can see, we've only got 3 options left. So if you want to reserve any of those stands, do let me know. And then M81, we've only got 2 stands left. So this is in front of the main stage. That helps. Was there any other question?
There are no more questions in the chat.
Right. Well, thank you so much for everyone for joining. Like I said, you can reach out to me directly. I think most of you got my contact details already. If you need the floor plan or anything else, let me know and I'll send that across. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.